First day, U.S. history class, come in, I'm in the front row. There are only white dudes on the wall. I think you buy your books before you come into U.S. history class, so I went through and I saw that there was basically a paragraph about slavery and a paragraph of what they called the Black Revolt, which was there referring to the Civil Rights Movement. And a paragraph in a U.S. history book, so I'm just like, yo, Mr. Ross, so basically I got my bugging out on in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. I'm like, yo, what's up with all the white dudes on the wall, and he said, well, that's just how history is. And then, it was on from there, and every day I would just be ready to battle. And I was reading Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States, and I was reading Lerone Bennett Jr.'s History of Black Folks Before the Mayflower, and so that was a great opportunity to, well, I was young and I was an asshole, but I knew that I was fighting a very real fight. Kids are not really engaged in their own education, in part because we teach stuff that's boring. There are really good teachers out there, but I think as a whole, we have an odd idea of how to educate. I teach all over the city of Chicago, and I've been teaching in public schools, public high schools, alternative high schools, prisons in the city for 14 or 15 years. I think I'm uniquely interested in telling stories, telling my own story, going back and intervening in history and retelling stories that have been left out, or reconceiving of how dominant culture has told stories and representing them or representing them in a new way. One of the things that I love about Louder Than a Bomb, the Chicago Youth Poetry Festival that I helped to found 11 years ago, is that kids from all over the city who have been segregated by urban planning come together in a space and they tell stories about what it means to be a young person in this moment. And so in the course of an hour and a half, which is how long a bout takes, you hear the breadth of human experience. You hear everything that is hilarious and everything that is horrible about being a young person in the city of Chicago. The first writing exercise is based off of Willie Perdomo's Where I'm From poem, which is about Spanish Harlem. But of course, they do not write about Spanish Harlem. They write about wherever they come from. So if I'm in Omaha or if I'm on the west side of this city, it's like they're automatically re-engaged in their own life, which doesn't happen that often in a classroom. And that's one of I think the great parts about being a writer, and then encouraging people in turn to then find their own stories. That I will tell my story because I know it, it's my experience, and now it is your turn to talk about who you are, where you come from, and how you feel about the world.